There's a huge Republican crisis developing. It's not because they said something incredibly anti-gay or against women. It's simply a crisis as a result of Obamacare working better and better almost every day. Every week we have better and better numbers. As Eugene Robinson writes in the Washington Post, this is the Republican worst nightmare that is coming true. Nearly 1.2 million people signed up last month for insurance through the Affordable Care Act exchanges. And this is really just not convenient for Republicans around the world. It seems like their two-pronged strategy for the election, which is bashing Obama and bashing Obamacare, is at least going to take somewhat of a hit because Obamacare really is doing quite well. The Obama administration now, since the program's lacking launch because of the website troubles, has now achieved enrollments that have exceeded or matched expectations, depending on how it is measured. Read that again. Surpassed expectations. Don't forget that the entire discussion was that nobody was signing up. Floridians are now flocking to the Affordable Care Act plans. Almost 300,000 Florida residents have enrolled through the federal exchange, and that figure surged by 88% in 1 month as the website problems were fixed. Also, there are 3.3 million people cumulatively that have chosen insurance plans through the state and federal exchanges by the end of January. That is, as a total, less than the administration had hoped for, but well above the predictions of those who created new numbers based on how things were going after the initial rollout. And when you look more closely at the numbers, they're even more encouraging. If you look at the proportion of young people between 18 and 34 years old who chose insurance plans through the exchanges, that number is also up 27% compared with an average of just 24% in previous months. This was actually part of the anti-Obamacare strategy. Remember that many anti-Obamacare people, I don't even know what to call them, were saying to young people, don't sign up. The way to protest Obamacare is not to sign up, knowing that the financial viability of the entire program is dependent upon young people who statistically tend to be healthier, signing up and kind of balancing out the premium pool. And lastly, to add on to what Eugene Robinson writes in the Washington Post, remember that these successes that we are now seeing now that the website is all fixed up and working properly are in spite of many Republican governors refusing to create the state exchanges altogether, some saying no to the Medicaid expansion. This is really a crisis. Republicans have done just about everything they could to stand in the way of Obamacare's success, and it is clearly working.
Right, but the war on Obamacare is not over. If you go online, you still see all sorts of skewed polls and misinformation about how it's not working and how people are dying and you name it.
Right, as if no people were dying before because of healthcare, access to healthcare related issues.
Right, right. It's all nonsense. But I'm glad to hear this, of course. This is good news.
In a logical, rational world that wasn't just subject to the constant left-right, Democrat-Republican political posturing of the United States, all people would be saying, hey, wait a second, the website didn't work that well, but millions and millions of people are signing up. People are finding the best care option as part of one of these federal or state exchanges. Maybe this is viable. Maybe we should go further. Let's further explore why it is that every other country at our level of development has already implemented single-payer, universal government-run healthcare. Maybe we should do that. Unfortunately, we have a barrage of right-wing propaganda and lobbyist-funded drivel in this country that will withstand any success, at least in terms of what we will see publicly. And we're going to have to continue pushing for better healthcare in this country in spite of the never-ending anti-anything where the government is involved, anything where corporations might have slightly less say over our healthcare. That we're just going to have to keep fighting that. And remember, Obamacare gave the insurance companies 30 million new customers. There's nothing socialist about it at all.